And let's just begin a little talk. This is kind of something that I've had on my head, and I can take these off now. I ain't got no music playing. We don't got guests or nothing, so kind of get that out of the way. Okay, the kind of the name of this thing, I guess, is stay. You know, God puts us in situations to sometimes to grow, sometimes to learn, and sometimes to just kind of figure out what our path is, and so that we can see our path. And I know that the world kind of, clutters that path and our decisions and our directions that we are all dealing with, and from work to being a parent. And the things are fixing to kick off here for us sports wise, and parents are going to be running their kids around everywhere, and things to say what's important and maybe what's not. So this is just about direction, and making decisions. This story that I want to share here is from a lesson here that I studied this morning. You used to think that you were supposed to be whatever it was you thought you wanted to be, but you gave up on the idea that, it just wasn't going to work out for you, and who knows what was going to happen, and it was just too scary. And even though you felt it in your heart, and you know that this maybe is what you want to do, it can still, make you think for yourself, and we doubt, because naturally we do doubt things. So the story goes on here to say, I'm certain that you will have to wrestle with occasional challenge in different seasons of your life. A boss that you don't think you can stand another day of, a relationship that's suddenly hurting, a dream that's running out of resources, and a move that's failed your expectations. When you face difficulties, it's natural to reconsider that your huge life-altering decision. You might ask these questions. So, should I take a chance? Do I quit this job and look for something else? Or, after my spouse's affair, is it time to move on? Yeah, I would think so. Am I ready to cut out and run a business? Is this what I'm, supposed to be doing? I try to do these podcasts and stuff. Can I really do it? And each of all of these examples, in which are most major life choices that you are a crucial fork in the road. These are decisions you're going to have to make, and it's time to decide. So, should you stay or should you go? You know the song. We all know that one. I'm choosing to give up because it's the right thing, or because it seems like leaving would just be easier. And oftentimes that it is. Often the best and most rewarding decisions you can make is to stay the course, even when it would be simpler to turn and walk away. I'm not saying that you ever need to walk away, but before you decide, ask yourself, am I choosing to give up because it's the right thing, or because it seems like leaving would be easier? Sometimes the greatest act of faith is faithfulness. That's very good. So staying where you're planned to be and where you're planted. Years from now, you may look back and thank God that you decided to stay when it would have been easier just to go. Remember, God made you in his image, and he is the author and finisher of your story. You are not a quitter. You are a finisher. And prayers that we could go along with would be something to this effect. God, is there anything that I'm trying to walk away from that you want me to stay and finish? Will you give me your strength to press on? Now, this goes into the book of Ruth as far as, a session here to go along and study with. And it's in Ruth 1, and it says, "But Ruth, do not urge me to leave you or to return from the following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God to be my God." And James 5 here. I love the book of James. If you've skipped over the book of James and thinking that it's just another book, or, trust me, it is not just another book. The book of James is a fantastic book. James chapter 5, verse 7 here starts to say, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruits of the earth, being patient about it until it is received. The early and the late rains is what you to wait. You also to be patient and establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand." So those are they're good plans to know that, even in Galatians, to let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So there's things that that we can reap the rewards of, even though in times it feels like that it's just not going to work out, and even though you're trying to do the right thing, sometimes the right thing they are hard to do. Staying planted and trusting what God has planned for you is definitely something that we all struggle with. We all know that what we just read there, that being faithful in faithfulness, because it's not something that we can necessarily see, and it's the things that we dealt with in our daily walks of, being praised or being pointed out of good things that we do, from social media pages to, other things that we maybe do around the communities. And there's always those decisions to be made that maybe we could understand more about the things that we pray for. So I hope that you're making the decision to pray more and to try to be closer to God. And those things that we have to go through that's uncomfortable, it's God's will and his plan, because he's always in control, and he's always knows what's best. Even though it seems like at times that it is very hard, and we can't figure out everything all at once. And I think this, along with making decisions, I think I could add in something to the line of patience. I think I could add that in too, because I think understanding that is just a part of how we do things, because we're just always kind of naturally uncomfortable. Does that make sense? We're just kind of naturally uncomfortable, and we don't always understand about how everything is going to be laid out. And we want to know. We want to know right now. So, I wish I could tell some younger people that it's going to be easy And these things that we have to go through from young ages till we get older and become adults and mature in our life, that it's going to be easier to do what? What is it going to be easier to do? Is it going to be easier to make decisions? It's not going to be easier to make decisions, guys. I'll tell you right now, probably it's going to be harder to make decisions, because the decisions that you're going to be making, they always affect other people. And being, being the man of the house and knowing that the responsibilities lie upon you, that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's how God made us to be. We're to be the head of the house and make those decisions for our families, and pray that, that we're doing the right things. And if we continue to live by faith and know that we're saved through grace and mercy, and we're saved through Christ, those decisions, to kind of sum this all up and come back around to the end here, the name of this is decisions. So to making those timely decisions, it helps so much when you do it with Christ, and when you find a way to involve him in your life, and to know that you pray for easy times, but it's not always supposed to be that way. And we go through the book of James and Ruth, and Lord, those two stories in the Bible are definitely great testimonies of people that's waiting, and people that's been waiting on their turn. When's it going to be my time? Well, your time is not always on God's time. So again, being faithful in your faithfulness will help those times that we need to make decisions. And, when do we know when it's time to stay or when it's time to go? I can give an example of when it's definitely time to go, just through a life experience that I've dealt with, that working a job and being involved, that they were actually using drugs, at work. And I knew that was definitely wasn't the place for me to be able to go, because that's not somewhere you want to go every day. So, what do you try to do about it? Well, let me cut this off. So what are you supposed to do about that? Well, the only thing I could do was go. And that was the best thing I could do, would be to try to understand that God's timing is not always on what I think I'm supposed to be doing. But we have to appreciate the things. We have to appreciate the things in life that God's doing for us, whether it seems like it's the easy way or it's the hard way. So, in this story, in this Bible story, this Bible study that I read, about, thinking if you're doing the right thing, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Well, there's only one way to know. And if you're not walking with God and you're not doing your part, how could you know? There's no way. You just kind of walk around this world aimlessly, and you're not really sure about what you're supposed to be doing, whether you're staying or going. So I'd advise you to pray daily, and pray throughout the day. You know, your break at work, man, you can put your head down for 5 minutes. And I usually find myself praying for other people. And sometimes, you know, I need to ask God to help me so I can make the right decisions. Because there's other people that look to me for decisions. So that's kind of all I wanted to share with you tonight. Decisions. Staying and going, but you've got to be faithful. And that's just where it's at. And that's just how things are. Because without Christ and our faithfulness into trusting in his plan of what we're doing, because he knows he's put you there for some certain reason. So, you know, maybe it's not always best just to duck off and leave, because if you're looking for that job that you're going to get up and go to, you know, every day, and they say if you work and do something that you enjoy doing every day, then it's not like work. Well, let me tell you, I've been working for over 30 years, and work is work. But if you do it with a good heart and a good spirit and stay on the right path and let God work through you at that place, whatever it is you're doing. Not everybody has the opportunity to not to have to grind and do one that have a meal job or whatever it is you do. Teachers, policemen, all the people that, you know, sacrifice their lives even. They do it because they care, and it's a God-given talent. So be strong in your decisions. Stand your ground. Don't give up so easy, because this old world is not going to get any easier. I promise you that. And I also will promise you that nobody is making it out of this place alive. Nobody. So just want to share that with you guys tonight. I like trying to put up these videos, you know, once a week. If you're watching, you come back on and watch this a little bit later, hit the subscribe button. It'll just let you know when I'm going to be going live. I do these once a week. Sometimes I do a movie review, and sometimes we'll do some Bible study stuff, and sometimes we'll do some reaction to Joe Rogan stuff or Pat Bet David, and they have some interesting topics. So stay tuned and hang around the channel with me, and come back on next week and hang out, okay? Y'all keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God. Enjoy the rest of your week, okay? We'll see y'all Sunday night for football. Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Come on, Matt Todd Show, 6 o'clock, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We'll see you guys then.